The documentary Drop Dead City tells a very interesting and maybe more amusing than it would have been if it was made at the time story of when New York City went bankrupt, or very, very, very nearly went bankrupt. This is set in 1975 because that's when it happened. This is a documentary about a financial crisis in New York City in 75, and the title Drop Dead City comes to apparently the city of New York formally asked then Mayor Gerald Ford for government assistance to keep the city from defaulting and going broke and just basically shutting down, and he neglected to provide that support. And then one of the New York newspapers, I don't remember if it was the Post or the Daily News, basically had a huge headline. And I say headline, it was like the entire front of the paper. It was like, Ford to city drop dead, which later they say in the film, it was heard Ford was replying to somebody about this headline. I never told them to drop dead. So it's a very interesting documentary. It's a very well-made documentary, and it utilizes vintage footage. I love documentaries. I watch more of those probably than anything else if I have the choice. And I love vintage footage of the day. I can't stand reenactments and recreations. I can't stand it when footage from the wrong era is used to represent something. And I loathe the modern practice of taking old footage that's video sourced and putting all kinds of crap on the screen like fake tracking and static and all this so that you know that it's video, so that you know it's old footage. We know it's old footage. It doesn't look like now. So this documentary does it super right in that the footage that was shot on 16, which was news gathering was up to a certain point for the most part, looks phenomenal. It looks incredible. And the video footage that they use looks really good. It looks as good as the source material does. They don't junk it up to let you know that it's the past. It interweaves and it tells this story pretty much linearly. Interviews with a lot of people who were involved, people in the mayor's office, people in the financial aspects. It was a new mayor, and he was trying to, I don't even remember how the story goes. And you don't want me to tell you the story. You want me to tell you what I thought of this film, and we'll let the story unfold for you as it was, as you watch it. But they interview so many people who were involved back then, which is fascinating. So you see footage of them when they were in their 20s, 30s, whatever, back in working for the city or working to help the city to try to work this out. And that cuts to them now giving insight into what was going on at the time, stuff that they didn't tell other people back then, or they couldn't tell other people back then, or stuff that they look at with hindsight. It's really well constructed. It's very funny at times. It's very shocking at times, just in terms of somebody who didn't live through that. I mean, I was alive then, but I was one. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on in a city several states away from me. It's interesting to discover how close the city came, how close this huge major metropolitan area came to just like not having services. Like the garbage people went on strike, or they fired the garbage people, and the garbage was piling up everywhere. And I believe there is a film, I want to say it's The Out of Towners. I could be totally wrong about this, but I believe there is a film or two that was shot around the time of those garbage strikes or the garbage people being unemployed, where you just see piles of garbage bags everywhere. It's like post-apocalyptic, Garbage City, USA. Anyway, I ramble. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there in case anybody has any value in what I have value. See, I'm very tired. In case what I say has any value to anybody, or if you're like, I wonder how this Drop Dead City is. This schmo with a Death Race 2000 hat on says it's really good. So however you can see it, I highly recommend it. Just a great snapshot of a moment in time, and a crazy moment that New York came out of it and is still going strong. But to see how close they came, it's like it's New York's Cuban Missile Crisis. I'm going to say that, how close they came. And I'm not going to say how it worked out. I'm going to leave it a surprise. Maybe New York City went broke and doesn't exist anymore. How do you know? You guys watch the documentary to find out. Drop Dead City.